What is up, everyone? Hopefully, everyone is enjoying their day or their evening or wherever you guys are watching this or whenever you guys are watching this. This is the Talking Sports Podcast right here on YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. And this is our second golf episode of the spring into summer. We gave you guys a Masters episode a couple weeks ago. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully, you guys did not listen to a single thing we said, because if you did, sorry for that. But hopefully this time you guys listen to us, because we're going to get back on track. And we got the PGA Championship right around the corner. When I mean right around the corner, it comes out Wednesday morning. PGA is the next day. If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, all that fun stuff, as well as YouTube, drop a like and comment. Jared, how are we doing, my man?
I'm doing good. And also, if you haven't already, please follow us on Instagram, X, and TikTok at Talking Sports PD. I used to always say Twitter. I shifted it. X, Instagram, and TikTok. Post a lot of daily picks of NBA Finals, NBA playoff picks, underdog fantasy picks. So please hit us with the follow on our social media platforms at Talking Sports PD.
And guys, as always, we are sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. You sign up with code TSP to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $250. A lot of money there, guys, in bonus cash. Head over to Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you guys use code TSP. We tend to post some picks throughout the week. We did one maybe a week ago or last week with some NBA playoffs. Jared put 2 in, I put 2 in, and we were
this past week.
Yeah, we were one Nikola Jokic point away from cashing that in.
Half a point away.
Yeah, half a point. It was over 24 and a half. He finished with 24, but make sure you guys get over to Underdog Fantasy. Use code TSP. Okay. You guys know how we do this by now, right? Golf's not our most, I would say, knowledgeable, educated, knowledgeable sport we do, Jared, but I think we have a fun time. We keep it light. We keep it quick. We give you guys 3 picks. Each of us, we're going to give you a top 10 pick. The guy that we're going to finish in the top 10 will give you his odds. These odds are presented by ESPN Bet, and as always, they are subject to change wherever you get them, and they're subject to change by the day as always. So top 10, a top 5 pick, and we are going to give you guys our winner, who we think is going to win the PGA Championship. We had 2 winners right last year, the Masters, and Jared. I got the Masters right last year. None of us got the Masters right this year. But Jared, this was your tournament last year. You got the PGA Championship right. So guys, stay to the end of this episode to see if Jared can go back to back with his PGA Championship. And maybe I get back on track, or we get back on track. We got to give you a winner this week. If it's top 5, top 10,
hasn't got back to it.
We can't go 0 for 12, because that's not a good look on you guys checking out our golf content, because then I probably wouldn't check it out either. I'm just gonna be honest with you. JR, start me off, man. Top 10, a guy that is going to be in contention into Sunday, just not enough to go win the whole thing, but is going to make some people some money, and I guess make himself some money.
Yeah, so my top 10 pick is Sungjae Im. His odds to be in the top 10 are plus 500. Odds to be top 5 plus 1,200, and then plus 6,000 to win it all. And he's been here with Sungjae. It's either like he's competing for like top 10 finish, top 15 finish, or he's kind of like out of it early. So like he has a bunch of missed cuts, but then he also has a couple top 15, top 20 finishes. So it's a lot of hot and cold with Sungjae, but the Wells Fargo, we tied for 4th, so top 5 finish there, and then the RBC Heritage, we finished top 12. But then before that, he missed the Masters cut and he missed the Valspar Championship cut. Mm-hmm. So it's like hot and cold with him. I think he's playing good golf. It's not the same environment as like the Masters per se, and he struggles during like the Masters. But I feel like the PGA Championship, he could definitely compete. It's in Valhalla, Louisville. I'm not going to say I know much about that course, but I think this could potentially be a top 10 finish for him, and maybe a top 5. But I'm sticking with the top 10. I think he's going to come out this weekend and play some good golf.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know much about Valhalla, the course as well, but
Yeah.
I know it's similar to Quail Hollow, which is where the Wells Fargo Championship was just this past weekend. So obviously, if you have success there, depends who you're talking about, but it kind of could potentially translate to this weekend at the PGA Championship. Okay, for my top 10, a guy that he's been in here. He's been around in a lot of contentions, mainly outside of the four majors in the last couple of years. I would say maybe not a rising star, but a guy that's still young, still finding his form, and that is Max Homa. According to ESPN Bet, he's at plus 280 to finish top 5, plus 650. Plus 280 to finish top 10, plus 650 to finish top 5, and then if you take him to win, plus 2,800 to win. So Max Homa, Jared, right, a guy that's never really competed well in these majors up until his last one, which was the Masters, right? Like the first time he was ever really in contention. He finished tied for third at the Masters, put in a really good, obviously weekend at the Masters. Obviously, Scotty Scheffler was just on a different level. We know Scotty Scheffler here, right? He's just on a different level, and we'll see if he can replicate it again at the PGA Championship. He finished this past weekend at the Wells Fargo, tied for 8th, right? So, like I just said, a similar course in Quail Hollow in Valhalla, right? Very similar style courses. He finished tied for 8th, so he's coming in playing some pretty good golf. 9th in world ranking at the moment, and his best finish at the PGA Championship was in 2022, and that was tied for 13. Obviously, take that with a grain of salt, different course, all that kind of stuff. The Masters is the only one you really can. Obviously, the PGA Championship happens at, like, Valhalla happened in 2014, right? But it doesn't happen at the same course every single year, obviously. Like the Masters, which is obviously you can use that to when we do the Masters episodes every year. But he's coming in, he's playing pretty good golf, he's playing solid golf. Masters tied for 3rd. I like what he did at the Wells Fargo, finishing tied for 8th. If you kind of replicate that, he'll be right in potentially contention, but I think he fits into that anywhere from like 7 to 12 range, and that's why I think he has a chance to finish top 10, and he's at plus 280 at the moment.
Yeah, I like that. Max Homa has been playing some good golf. My top 5 is a guy who kind of recently popped onto my golf radar, and that is Russell Henley. I'll go by top 10 first, and then his top 10 is plus 550. Top 5, which I have him, is plus 1,200, and then to win it all is plus 10,000. So he is kind of like a sleeper. He's deeper there on the odds, which makes it a little more juicy. But this guy is very consistent. Like you said, Quail Hollow, similar course. He tied for 10th last week. RBC Heritage tied for 12th. Masters struggled 38th, and then Texas Open 4th. And he has 3 tied for 4th finishes this year. He's very consistent. He's only missed one cut, and that was the Players Championship. Just, every golfer has their bad weekend. And I think this guy, I wouldn't. I mean, if you look at the odds, even like he's got better odds to finish top 5 than all, like, to win it. His odds are bad, but top 5, it's got better odds than all the other players around him. If that makes sense, like Ricky Fowler's plus 10,000 too, but his odds to finish top 5 are double Russell's.
2,500, yeah.
I don't like. He's probably not going to compete for the win, but he's always in there for a top 5 finish or a top 10 finish on a good day. So
you're going bold here, man.
Yeah, I'm going bold, but yeah, the top 5, top 10 finishes aren't out of the question. He's very consistent, and I think he can make a name for himself this week.
Yeah. Look, you're going bold. My top 5 in a second is going to be a little less not flashy, but a little less bold, a little less, I guess, money in people's pocket. But like, even if you think he's coming and playing well, and you're like, okay, Jerry, I kind of agree with you. I think he's playing well lately. Like the pick, top 5 is a little too rich for me, just because it's such a slim margin. Or even top 10 is a little too rich. You still can get him at top 20 at plus 240, right? Like there's still plus money to be had here. Even if you like Jerry, you might be a little
40 plus 125.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, guys, we are doing a podcast here. We aren't we're telling you what to do. not really at the point. We're trying to have fun at the same time. But I like Jared. I like your rationale on the fact that people around him, like Tom Kim, right? Both same amount of odds to win the thing, plus 10,000. If you're feeling bold, you pick him to win. Just go for it. Put $1 on it, I guess, right? But the top 5 is plus 2,200, while Russell Henley's top 5 is plus 1,200, right? So the odds makers are thinking Russell Henley has maybe not a legit shot, but has a better shot of guys around him to make top 5, to make top 10, right?
He's consistently like in there competing, but he's never consistently in there for the title per se.
Yeah, like he has guys like Sam Burns, right? Plus 7,000 to win, and Russell Henley is plus 10,000 to win, but they have the same odds to finish top 5, right? So they're not seeing a Russell Henley win, but they're seeing maybe a little bit of money potentially to him. He's the same odds to finish top 5 as Matt Fitzpatrick. Jordan Spieth's plus 1,100 to finish top 5, and Jordan Spieth's looking for that career Grand Slam, which is this week at the PGA Championship, right? So, look, there's money to be had there, as always. Okay, so I kind of just kind of foreshadowed it a little bit there when I said I'm not going as bold with my top 5 pick. It's still at plus money. There's still money to be had here, right? You're still not giving you a minus pick. I'm still giving you a plus money. You can tell we try to avoid the minus picks just to make it a little more interesting. Right?
I don't think there is a minus pick.
There has to be. Yeah, Scheffler is.
He's plus 110.
Top 10.
Oh, Scheffler, this top 10. Yeah.
There's no minus top 5. There's 2 minuses top 10, handful of minuses top 20, and a good amount of minuses top 40. As always, and top 40 is always not a bad idea to I never really. It's not as flashy, but if you get some guys,
and you usually don't know the names as much, but
true, I'm with you on that. And that's a crapshoot. Who shows up on Sunday when they're out of contention?
Like winning the lottery at that point.
Yeah, at that point. So my top 5 is Rory McIlroy, right? A guy that I picked to win the Masters last week, and people are like, Peter, well, he's Rory McIlroy, top 5. Well, you're still getting him at a plus 180, and you're still getting good value there, right? I'm not going as flashy as JR here. I'm just trying to get on the winning side of something here, right? He's at plus 180. He's if you want to finish top 10, he's minus 115. So still solid value, not plus money. And to win, he's at plus 700, right? Rory McIlroy is coming in playing his best golf that he's played in a while, right? He won the Zurich Classic 2 weeks ago with Shane Lowry down in New Orleans. If you guys don't know what that is, the PGA Tour does one two team event, like team event, right? So you get paired with a golfer, it's 2v2v2v2v2. PGA Tour does one of that. He was paired with his friend Shane Lowry, and they went on to win the Zurich Classic in New Orleans. This past weekend, he was automatic on Saturday, and then going into Sunday, a couple shots back of Xander Schauffele, comes on and just plays automatic golf. If you guys see on Twitter, we posted that video as well. A little bunker shot for eagle on that back 9, which propelled him to the victory. He was automatic, was a par away on the 18 from tying Quail Hollow's record. He ended up putting a ball into the water and double. It's still winning by 5 strokes. He had no shot of losing. He just didn't. He went for the record. You can tell on the shot and sailed the green a little bit there, but still finished first. Wells Fargo made obviously a ton of money and a huge purse at Wells Fargo. But like I said, Quail Hollow and Valhalla are very similar golf courses, right? So, Jay, you made a good point. Is he probably going to win after winning Wells Fargo? Who knows? It doesn't really happen in golf as much as you think, right? Like you win one because it took so much energy to win. You win a ton of money. You almost won $4 million. You win a huge tournament, right? And then you go the next week. It's tough to kind of
keep that same energy too.
That same energy, good point. And he's won 2 in a row, but I think he's playing his best golf, right? And that's why I didn't pick him to win. I picked him to finish top 5 because I think he's going to be there. Similar courses that back-to-back weeks, he's playing some good golf. He's kind of has his headspace, right? He's been very up and down the last couple of years. He's won the PGA Championship twice. Look, we got to go back a handful of years for his last major win. We all know it, 10 years. But JR, in 2014, when he won the PGA Championship, PGA Championship was played at Valhalla, which is where this PGA Championship is played at. So there is that similarity, right? Like he knows the course. He loves this style of course, which we saw in this Wells Fargo. We saw in 2014. He came out and said this week he's playing better golf than he was in 2014. So we'll see where he is look, I like rooting for Rory. He's like kind of the golfer I root for, but I have him finishing top 5, and you get him at plus 180, so still plus money for him to finish top 5.
Yeah, that'd be a cool story if he wins it 10 years later.
Yeah. It's kind of neat there.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jared, what everyone is probably waiting for. You're the guy on the hot seat here, right? You won last year with the PGA Championship with your
really on the hot seat here.
I don't know why I'm on the hot seat. I phrased that really poorly. You know what? You're trying to keep the momentum going. Brooks Koepka was your pick last year in the PGA Championship. He took home the hardware. Are you going to make it 2 years in a row here? You said, like, look, it's hard to win back-to-back weeks. Is it hard to win back-to-back years when you're picking the PGA Championship winner here, Jared? We'll find out. So who's your winner? Oh, I said click it away. Who is your winner for this year's 2024 PGA Championship?
Yeah, so my winner this year is going to be Xander Schauffele. And like you said, Rory was down the Xander. Xander blew the lead. It's the story of Xander's career as of now. This guy, like you say he's due every time, but he's just playing such good golf.
Yeah.
Where he's putting himself in the lead and winning circumstances, and he just doesn't come down with the trophy. And I feel like, Rory gave him a run for his money last weekend, and he's going to want to show that he could beat him this weekend. It's just it is like you said, like Rory's coming in here with, it's going to be hard to keep that same energy after the win. But if you look at it on Xander's perspective, it is hard to lose so close, like so many times, and then keep like, oh, I gotta win. Like this weekend's my weekend. But he's been doing it consistently, and so I don't think that gets to him. If anything, he uses it as fire, and it's shown. Like he finished second at Wells Fargo, like we mentioned. He tied for 18th in RBC Heritage, and that's one of his poorest finishes this year. 8th in the Masters, tied for 5th, tied for 2nd, and then a top 25 finish. But he's consistently, honestly, in the top 10. And whenever you see someone playing that good of golf, like it's hard not to pick him to win. But it's my ESPN. But
what is ESPN telling us right now, man?
It's doing a little Arby's ad, I think.
We're not sponsored by Arby's. No free advertisement here, people. No free advertisement.
It was Chipotle, actually.
Okay, same thing, man. No free. If they want to sponsor us, I'll take Chipotle, but no free advertisement.
But I think this is finally, his major. I think it's due time. If he doesn't win this week, I don't think I'll ever pick him again. He's gonna ruin it for me. But I think this is finally his major. Everyone's rooting for him, I feel like. So I think he'll get it done.
I picked him to finish top 5 at the Masters. He finished tied for 8th, so I just missed that. Top 10 obviously was the pick. Did you tell what is his odds for Xander Schauffele?
Odds. Jesus. His odds are plus 1,300 to win, plus 265 top 5, and plus 135 top 10. So if you don't like to win, you don't trust him. His top 5 finish plus 265. I mean, he's consistently doing that. So that's a pretty good pick there, too.
Yeah. He is the last 2 years of the PGA Tour, he is the most top 10 finishes, including majors and tour events. So he's due. He's due. He's eventually due. Right? He has 7 PGA Tour wins. It's not like he's never won a PGA Tour event. He's never won a major. Obviously, that takes you from being a good golfer, really good golfer, to superstar. Yeah. Becoming Wyndham Clark kind of found that out last year. You win the U.S. Open, and now you're at a different peak. You're just a different peak, even though you're not maybe the best golfer. It's just where you're at. And Sky Schefter's taking it to a different level at the moment. Okay. I love the pick. I picked him to finish top 5. I think it's a good pick. It's just someone has to cash in and win because he's going to win a major.
Yeah.
It's just,
or he could just be known as the guy that never did it.
I think he's going to win a major. I think.
This year, it's this weekend or never.
I don't know about that. Once he wins it he's just going to go on a historic. He's just going to win 8 in a row. He's just going to keep going. He's never going to stop because he's like, oh, this is how you win. I'm always there. Now I know how to do it. Just going to keep going. Okay. Like the pick. Oh, man. Did I click that or you did?
You did.
I did. Okay. If you're on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, you did not get spoiled. If you're on YouTube and you paid attention for about half a second there, you got spoiled. So for my winner of the PGA Championship, that's going to be Ludwig Aberg, a guy that I've never picked to finish in any place here. We haven't really talked about him this past season. Right now, he's 6th in the world ranking in golf. Jerry, he's kind of a newcomer, right? Still 24 years of age. He is becoming that next great golfer. He is slowly kind of making a name for himself, I would say, for you and I that are not super in. We watch golf, but we're not obviously at the upper echelon of golf watchers, but he's starting to make that name, right? Getting to the kind of average golf fan, right? Finished 2nd at the Masters. Once again, just Scotty Scheffler, right? Like, ask all the people that finished 2nd when Tiger Woods was playing. Like, it's just the name of the game, right? It's what Patrick Mahomes does in football. It's what Scotty Scheffler is doing right now in golf. So he finished 2nd at the Masters, 8th at the Players, and he finished tied for 10th at the RBCT Heritage. He did not play this past weekend at the Wells Fargo. So a little bit of rest, right? He has 1 top 5 finish and 3 top 10 finishes over his last 5 appearances, right? He's sitting at, once again, I forgot the odds. He's sitting at plus 1,800 to win, plus 360 to finish top 5, and plus 180 to finish top 10. The reason I'm picking him, 6th in the world ranking, 2nd at the Masters, 8th at the Players, 10th at RBCT Heritage. He's right there. He's playing really good golf. He needs that moment, right? Mm-hmm. Every golfer needs that moment, right? We talked about kind of that with Schauffele, right? Like, Schauffele has a little bit more of a track record of being in the top 10. But this reminds me, and I know it's different tournaments, of Wyndham Clark last year at the U.S. Open, right? We never really talked about Wyndham Clark on this podcast. He goes in, we didn't pick him. He goes in to win the U.S. Open, and now he's a name, right? Wyndham Clark now is a guy that is projected, is a top 12, top 13 finisher, right? He hasn't been great this year, but he's still right around Victor Hovland and Justin Thomas and kind of like those kind of guys. And Tommy Fleetwood, a little behind Max Homa, where we're talking about him every week having a chance to win. Ludwig Aberg needs that moment, right? To take himself from, well, still 6th in the world, but just being a name to being a household name. And I think this is the week he makes that moment. He's playing amazing golf, 2nd at the Masters. I think he's just doing his thing. He's made 16 straight cuts at the moment. He's playing great. And I just think, and also, I forgot this, in his last 5 tournaments, his average score has been 8 under. So he's playing really good golf. I think he's at that moment. And I think this week is the time he cashes in and takes home the PGA Championship. I mean, he's sitting at plus 1,800 to win.
Yeah, I think, with a name like that, you definitely need that moment, because that would be I could just see him, like you said, finally getting like that to that spot.
That one, he's like missing it. He's missing it.
Consistently top 10 guy that they're talking about heading into a tournament.
Well, we could say that for a lot of people, right? Like Xander Schauffele, he's missing that win, right?
Yeah.
Max Homa is missing that win. Someone like Justin Thomas has those major wins. So does Jordan Spieth. So does McIlroy, Koepka, and DeChambeau.
The guy like Ludwig, I wouldn't say like he's missing that win. It's just he hasn't got that win yet.
Sure,
he's not in the game too deep.
True, you're right. He's only 24. He's not missing it where he's at the point of his career. He's just all the young golfers kind of take that moment early on, and just I feel like this is his time. He only has 1 PGA Tour win at the moment. He's 1 European Tour win and 2 other, according to Wikipedia. And he's never played at a PGA Championship, a U.S. Open, or the Open.
Oh, wow.
His only major he's ever played at is the Masters.
That was this past year.
His 2nd. That's why he feels like Wyndham Clark. Wyndham Clark played in other majors, but was always just a middle-of-the-pack kind of guy, barely making cuts, or missing cuts, right? Like, he was never in contention, never really been talked about. He goes in to win the U.S. Open out of nowhere, and he kind of becomes a little bit more of a household name. I think this is very similar to that. He just turned professional in 2023. So this is like the young, like Jordan Spieth won early, right? A lot of golfers win majors early. Spieth won early. Scheffler's won early. Tiger Woods won early. Rory McIlroy won early. It's just a thing. Just a thing in golf.
Yeah, because once you get past that, like you said, how to approach each tournament, and it's just different. It's just
Yeah.
different.
And obviously a couple storylines heading into the week before we get out of here. Tiger Woods, right? Like he battled, Jared. He battled for 2 days there at the Masters.
It's always fun watching him battle too.
Well, the thing with Tiger, he kind of got what hurt him was that the rain delay on
Yeah.
Thursday, right? He
That
had
was
to play
it was tough.
an extra 5 to 7 holes on Friday. We kind of knew that did him in. He was still
And
solid on
you think
Friday.
about it, the guy with back injury has to wake up earlier the next day to come back on the court. Like you don't get the same approach each day because it just messes up your whole rhythm. You wake up earlier, with back pain, got to wake up even earlier to get that treated on, and it just messes his whole routine up.
Look, yeah, and look, we saw it. He struggled Saturday, struggled really bad Sunday, but he put in 2 good rounds on Thursday and Friday to make the cut, right?
Yeah.
And will he be able? The biggest thing for him is, can he walk the course? For like that's his biggest trouble, is just those 4 long days of golf for him is kind of a trouble. A couple other 2 storylines. Jordan Spieth, he's looking for a career Grand Slam. He's won the Masters, he's won the U.S. Open, and he's won the Open. He's looking for his 4th overall major, but he's looking for that career Grand Slam, which is the PGA Championship. So that is something to note. And another little storyline, Justin Thomas, right? He's won the PGA Championship twice, 2017, 2022, just 2 years ago. Can he get to that 3rd PGA?
Yeah, because those 2 are like you said, they're the young guys who won it early, but then they're also kind of like the forgotten names a little bit.
It's just so tough
to
win these majors, right? Spieth has 3, Thomas has 2. But like, it's not like they don't win, right? It's just weird because like Spieth has 13 PGA Tour wins, Thomas has 15. Like they win tournaments throughout the years. It's just those 4 majors. That's why they're so hard to win. There's only 4 every year, and they're not that easy. And once you win one, it kind of puts you in a different boat. But yeah, so Thomas is looking for his 3rd PGA Championship, and Jordan Spieth is looking for a career Grand Slam. And how many Tiger Woods does he have? PGA Championship. So I guess. You never know. Tiger does some crazy things, and
probably like
Tiger's 4. Won. He's looking for his 5th.
Oh, so he has 4.
He's looking for his 5th PGA Championship. Won in 99, 2000, 06, and 07. He's looking for obviously his. 16th.
Oh, he won it 99, 2000, then 06, 07.
Yep,
back to back.
Yeah, so he's looking for his 16th major win, and he's looking for his 5th PGA Championship. So. Which obviously will be a very crazy turn of events if he was able to pull out a major.
Yeah, I think the whole country would go wild.
I think if he's even in contention on Sunday, it would be a bit of a shocker. I think his goal, obviously, at this point is to play a full weekend, make the cut. I would like for him to make the cut and then still because he just fell off over the weekend. I would like for him to maybe be a little more competitive into Saturday and Sunday. Okay. That is going to do it for us. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you guys wrote down top 10 finisher, top 5 finisher, and who we got taking home the hardwood at Valhalla. Jared, where can everyone follow us on social media we'll give you our best. Obviously, Jared and I are kind of both away this week, but we'll try our best to give you our daily updates, just where our guys are sitting at, kind of that fun stuff as we always do. But Jared, where can everyone find all that content?
Yeah, guys, we're on Instagram, X, and TikTok at Talking Sports PD. Like Pete said, we're going to be trying to keep you guys up to date with what's going on in the championship this weekend. And then also, NBA playoffs going on this whole week. So follow us on Instagram, X, and TikTok at Talking Sports PD.
Yeah, and as always, we are presented by Underdog Fantasy. Just use code TSP. It's a great time to get on Underdog Fantasy just because you can place a ton of fun props with the NBA, but also this week with golf. So sign up with code TSP to claim your special pick plus first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. So great time to do it. Make sure you guys get onto Underdog Fantasy. You guys won't regret it. NBA playoffs are coming around. We'll give you guys our NBA Finals preview episode, NBA draft episode, as always. And then obviously we got 2 more golf episodes coming throughout the summer. One in June and one in July with the Open and the U.S. Open. That is going to do it for us. Hopefully you guys have a great week of golf. Hopefully you guys enjoy the PGA Championship. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Like, comment, and subscribe if you are on YouTube. If you're on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, follow download the episode, write a review. We really appreciate that. And like JR said, we're on all social medias. And as always, we are sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. That is going to do it for us for this PGA Championship breakdown and preview. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.